Some copper sheets. 22.
It is September and a powerful hurricane in Moscow these days is tearing off roofs, causing significant damage.
Skyscrapers are flying apart.
She's absolutely beautiful.
And it's knocking down Muscovites. And Moscow has been engulfed by a hurricane, a flood of the ages. The wind is howling. The city is in chaos. Roofs are destroyed. Muscovites are screaming. 18,000 Muscovites have been left without power. Trees have been uprooted. Cranes have fallen. Roofs have been torn off. In Moscow and the Moscow region, the strongest hurricane has struck, hail and flooding.
This is a live report coming to you directly from the scene of the unfolding events. We are currently located on Seleningradsky Avenue, Tatarata. Look, it's a Japanese policeman. This situation is truly a complete and utter disaster.
Moscow has been flooded by a squally hurricane and the rain has drowned Moscow. The city is getting more and more flooded. Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and write in the comments where you're watching from. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started. Hurricanes, squally winds, roofs are being torn off houses, skyscrapers are getting flooded. Panic and evacuation have begun in Moscow. Boom, bada boom.
In the soft, gentle wind,
Rain and hail damaged hundreds of cars and infrastructure facilities. The elements caused a traffic collapse. Buses, trams, and trolleybuses stopped running in Moscow, and a tree fell onto one of the Moscow metro lines.
a downpour with hail and possibly tornadoes hit Moscow. Today, in the capital of Russia,
The Ministry of Emergency Situations did not warn Muscovites about how dangerous this is. It's possible that Moscow could end up underwater. This looks more like hurricanes or tornadoes. Strong winds are tearing down billboards, ripping roofs off Moscow buildings and toppling trees. Trees have destroyed skyscrapers, cars, and buildings. There are injured people. Muscovites are in a panic. The hurricane is destroying roofs, shattering windows, and Muscovites are being swept away along with tents.
listen, this is probably really the best story I've actually ever quite had.
And it's wiping Muscovites off the face of the earth.
This is truly unbelievable, seriously. What exactly is going on here? It's just absolutely crazy.
A significant yellow danger level has been officially declared in the bustling city of Moscow. Muscovites are absolutely flooded. Their roofs are completely submerged. I'm telling you, there's an incredibly intense downpour happening right here. The temporary tents, they are literally being violently swept off the very face of the earth by the powerful winds. The strong wind, guys, the numerous tents, Muscovites are desperately tying them down with all their might. My dear friends, please take a moment to like this important video. Your support means a lot. Subscribe to my channel and in the comments, write a few words in support of Ukraine, as well as about how Mother Nature is destroying the Russian Federation and its capital. Stay with us. Stay on the bright side. The promised deaths have been recorded in the Moscow suburbs. Lobnya, Moscow is flooded. Moscow and the surrounding regions. There's a hurricane-force wind with rain. There's a thunderstorm warning. An orange danger level has been declared in Moscow. Boom. OME, you will not drown forever.
No leaves at all, completely. Oh, here. This is tea in the G good.
Friends, school wind, thunderstorm, hurricane, Muscovites are furious. The wind is tearing off roofs, windows, trees are being smashed, local cafeterias and new buildings are being destroyed. Muscovites are in a panic. Their tents are being blown away by wind and rain. They're furious and can't understand why this heavenly punishment has come to Moscow.
Leningradsky Prospect. Japanese policeman. And now people What are they guilty of? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars.
This is the boomerang. This is divine providence, punishment for all the evil that Russia has done to our country, Ukraine. Moscow is being flooded. Friends, write in the comments what you think about this.
Muscovites were warned that a hurricane was coming, but no one could believe it. Debut. And at 3 p.m., a real downpour begins. Heavy rain, thunderstorm, wind speeds reached, unclear fragment, with safety.
As a result of the passage of the storm front, power outages are currently being observed in a number of settlements. There have been no reports of breaches in the integrity of buildings and structures or of disruptions to road traffic. These weather conditions are expected to persist across the territory of the Central and Volga federal districts for the next 2 days.
It's like a crater from an explosion, huge. But it just fell like that on the tree, and another one too.
Trees were broken and fell right onto the children's playground.
And the wrath of God intensifies in Moscow. Hail has started. In some districts of Moscow, heavy rain has begun. Residents of the capital have also posted videos of hail, with stones from the sky striking Russians. According to the Yandex weather precipitation map, the squally downpour from the hurricane is hitting the southwest and south of the capital, as well as the center and the northeast. Wall-like hurricane rains are sweeping through the Moscow region, particularly in Vidnoye and Korolyov. The Ministry of Emergency Situations has issued a warning about thunderstorms and squally winds in the Moscow region, where a yellow danger level is in effect.
In the capital city of Moscow,
there is panic, the hurricane of the century for Russia. Fires have left thousands of Russians without electricity, heat, or homes.
Everything is burning. Everything that can possibly burn is burning. You can't see anything.
this is my whole life. I've put so much into this place.
But now I have nothing left. Look, cars are fleeing because their tires are melting from the fire. Who? I don't have my passport. We have nothing. It's all being taken from us. We only managed to save ourselves.
This is karma in Russia, a state of emergency. Over 150,000 Russians are without power. A large-scale evacuation has begun.
The roads are blocked. Everything is closed. There's no way to get anywhere.
Massive fires and hurricanes. Dozens of villages are engulfed in flames, and the fire has come dangerously close to major cities. The most difficult situation is in Krasnoyarsk Krai and the Republic of Khakassia.
We're running around here with the siren on because the flames are coming toward us. Here it is, the blazing fire, right here next to us, burning brightly.
It's sweeping away people. It's sweeping away houses. A hurricane-force wind has hit several regions of Russia at once, and powerful fires are destroying Siberia.
This is my whole life. I've put so much into this place, and now I have nothing left.
Boom, bada, boom, burn, burn bright, so nothing is left behind. Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dalshi Shaslivik, and leave a few kind words for Ukraine in the comments, as well as where you're watching from. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started. The storms are raging all at once in Kuzbas, Khakassia, and the Altai and Krasnoyarsk regions. Fires driven by gale-force winds are spreading rapidly and destroying entire villages in Siberia. Hurricane-force winds and heavy rains have also hit the Kemerovo, Novosibirsk, and Irkutsk regions. According to Russia's Ministry of Killings, NRG, power outages caused by the bad weather have affected more than 150,000 Russians.
The situation remains difficult. Even though the wind has died down, you can see it's still present. Moreover, according to the forecast, in the coming days, wind speeds could reach up to 20 meters per second, which is more than enough to cause steppe fires. Therefore, once again, I want to urge all our residents to handle fire with extreme caution.
A hurricane-force wind has hit Siberia, tearing off roofs, snapping power lines, and fueling the rapid spread of wildfires. Dozens of villages are engulfed in flames, and the fire has come dangerously close to major cities. The most difficult situation is in Krasnoyarsk Krai and the Republic of Khakassia. In the Irkutsk region, 17 houses have already been lost and 100,000 people are without power. In Krasnoyarsk Krai, 33,000 are without electricity, and in Khakassia, there are officially 40 injured. Dozens of fires with a fire front nearly 80 kilometers long. Landscape and forest fires are raging near Abakan and Minusinsk. The flames are approaching homes. People are being urgently evacuated, and those who remain are being told to fight the fire with shovels. This was reported by the Telegram channel CHTD. In Krasnoyarsk, the wind tore off roofs, and one woman died after falling from a balcony. Along the road to the airport, a wall of fire has come right up to the runway. In many regions of Siberia, there are widespread power and water outages.
Matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
Ashes are all that's left of the past life. The fire, driven by hurricane-force winds, consumed both the house and all the belongings. Cars, furniture, clothes, now all ash. The whole community tried to put out the fire, but the Maligan family and their 6-year-old daughter lost absolutely everything.
I can't even restore my bank card without documents because I don't have my passport. We have nothing, we lost everything, we only managed to save ourselves.
Only tears remain and thousands of questions. What now? The Antokin family also lost their home, on the next street over, right? Victoria, the mother of 2 underage children, was sheltering with relatives in Lobakan during the hurricane. Now, essentially, there's nowhere for them to return to.
The roof caught fire, and that was it. In 5 minutes, everything burned down. The dog burned, the chickens burned, all the buildings, everything. Nothing is left. Of course, it's terrifying. We managed to leave with the kids in advance when the grass had just started burning.
It was the neighboring field, exactly from there, that the wind blew toward the residential houses and became a conduit for the fire. Sayana Kazigasheva was among the first to lose her home, a 2-story house, and all her belongings were destroyed by the flames in a matter of minutes. Now there's only blackened earth all around.
At that end of the street, the fire started spreading, and I got scared. I grabbed my child and took him to the city. When I came back, the house was already burning.
In the gardening community, a total of 5 houses were completely destroyed this spring. That means 5 to 7 families lost everything at once. 14 plots were damaged to some extent. In Elisapogov, 2 houses burned down. Overall, during the storm in the Ustabakan district, 17 private houses and 6 apartment buildings were damaged, along with 3 kindergartens, 6 community centers, and 2 farms. The authorities have formed a commission to assess the scale of the damage and to compile a list of those who need financial assistance.
We are determining the amount of damage, doing everything within our power. We are helping people as much as we can right now. If someone has nowhere to stay during this difficult time and has no relatives, we provide them with social housing.
As for the causes, of course, there are many factors. The hurricane-force winds, the fire prevention measures that the authorities should have taken in advance, or the neglect of those measures. Abandoned plots overgrown with dry weeds pose a great danger at such times. However, each of them has an owner.
The strictest measures will be taken together with the prosecutor's office. We have already exchanged information with the Usiabakan district, and we will prepare documents to conduct municipal land inspections.
Obviously, for many residents of Khakassia, the recent hurricane and fires were a real shock. A terrifying and uncontrollable force of nature turned into a dreadful inferno. Now, a new misfortune has appeared, this time with a very human face. At night, people have started to notice looters.
For
the authorities, one of the main tasks right now is to assess the damage and help those affected. Anyone who cares can help with this. The screen displays the personal number of the head of the Ustebakanski district and the Unified Emergency Dispatch Service. You can get more details by calling. People with children have been left with virtually nothing, and any help here will not go amiss. And after all, it's easier to get through hardship together than alone. Konstantin Kravtsov, Rim Tugujekov, Vesti Khakassia.
Moreover, when there's a significant grass fire, I've personally seen it myself, residents immediately start pulling away the dry grass near the perimeter fence. Of course, all this needs to be done in due time. Together, on their own plots of land, whether summer cottages or residential, owners must act. And of course, to prevent disaster, safety measures around the property must be taken in a timely manner. I urge residents, first of all, to handle fire with extreme caution, but on the other hand, to do everything possible to help municipalities with the improvement of populated areas.
There can be no peaceful truce or peaceful agreement. That's why I really like the President's words when he said that it's not about letting up, but about finishing them off. That's exactly how we need to act. No.
A compromise is possible, cremation or burial?
Well, that truly means the result has already been successfully achieved. Well, what else can you possibly do?
How else with Nazis?
Yes, I think so too. That is, shoot and hang them. There are no other options.
Maybe we should use tactical nuclear weapons on that city where the decision-making center was located. From Baden? The fascists were there once too? Well, that's fine, so that they have it there too.
In any case, well, how is it? I would say tactical nuclear weapons, but that's the king's last argument.
The last strategic one.
And you always have to keep it ready. No, strategic and its use? No.
Strategic, yes. Tactical is fine. High-altitude detonation. Powerful electromagnetic radiation. The radiation won't be high, but it will knock out all the electronics just fine.
And as for its use, frankly, from the decision to actual deployment, it's just a matter of a few minutes. Yes, I'm saying this as a specialist. Yes, that's why.
I'm watching Ivan Ivanovich.
Have you ever been out of Bada?
No, never.
Well, you don't need to. What is there to do after a nuclear attack?
Yes, Vladimir Ivanovich, by the way, I completely agree with you. You know that. And yesterday, in your evening show, you touched on this topic. And now you quite rightly pointed out that, but as they say, to morally take responsibility for the use of nuclear weapons is a sin. But an even greater sin is, of course, ultimately to lose a war, and even more so to lose your homeland. That's why the situation is developing in such a way that, well, probably this is the most, in this sense, the right path. Well, because this European fascism needs to be stopped once and for all, and uprooted with fire, with ashes, with nuclear means and so on, because they've just gotten way too out of hand.
But what I would like to note in this regard, again, from a general strategic standpoint and in terms of the overall development of the situation and, let's say, preparation for upcoming conflicts. After all, by and large, these drone strikes on facilities and territory within our country are already being carried out, so to speak, across the entire European part. And now the Ukrainian armed forces are being equipped with drones that have a flight range of 3,000 kilometers. And that already means Novosibirsk is within reach. So what needs to be said in this regard? That the very concept of a rear area is disappearing as such. And in general, you can frame the problem this way. Well, all right.
This was characteristic even before modern wars, of course.
And so what does the disappearance of the rear as such actually mean? Then the question arises, where do you store reserves of material supplies? The same goes for ammunition, fuel, and lubricants. You can't just scatter a crate under every bush and a canister here and there across the country. And the issue really is that this is now one of the most pressing problems. We need to look several decades ahead here, and that's no exaggeration. And well, maybe we should even ask ourselves this question. With the technologies we have today, can we solve this problem? Because let's put it this way, it's not always possible to solve it or organize everything through standard procedures. Once again, I'm saying that, after all, you can't put an anti-missile system next to every fuel tank in the end. In general, this problem, so to speak, needs to be discussed at the broadest levels, both openly and behind closed doors, because, well, the future of conflicts and, simply put, the resilience of the state and the conduct of armed struggle depend on it. And this is just the Ukrainian side for now. I'm not saying who will be involved in the next war, how it will all unfold, where it will happen, or in what way. Here, it's important to understand something else. For example, right now, strikes are being carried out on fuel and energy infrastructure facilities. But there are quite a lot of such facilities in the country, and the entire functioning and viability of the state depends on them.
You've spoiled the children and shoved the first piece at them. Now check yourselves. You sit down at the table. Let's say grandma has cooked borscht. Her daughter and her daughter's husband are sitting at the table, meaning the son-in-law of the grandma who made the borscht. And the children are sitting at the table too. The first bowl is poured. Who does grandma pour the first bowl for? If it's for the children, then she's a criminal. If it's for her daughter, then she's doubly a criminal. The first piece and the first bowl go to her daughter's husband, the man sitting at the table, the father of her grandchildren. Then to her daughter, then to herself, and then to the children. What do? You shove all the sweets into your puppies' mouths, who then grow up into dogs and bite you. They start using drugs, sleeping around, engaging in debauchery, losing their minds, jumping off rooftops.
Why did they act out like that? Why? We didn't come to Ukraine today. What do we need it for anyway? We lived peacefully, and we will continue to live peacefully.
Do we consider that this 30-day truce has already begun, or will additional preparation be needed?
We believe that this truce, which was proposed by the President of the United States of America, has already been violated by the Kyiv regime. How exactly will the American side continue to effectively deal with this truly crazed tourist rabble? Forgive me for asking, but that is indeed a very big and significant question.
I can only welcome such terms.
How are they going to rein them in again, even into some kind of pen or channel? That's a big question. We understand perfectly well why it's about energy, because everything started with energy back in 2022, when Biden said that Nord Stream 1 and 2 would be destroyed by any means necessary, responding to a clarifying question from an American journalist who was shocked by such a statement from the leader, as they call themselves, of the democratic world. And 6 months later, that's exactly what happened. This is essentially training individuals with an extremist and dangerous mindset to focus not just on a mere red flag, but rather on a very specific piece of meat. They have, in effect, raised this monstrous entity, which is now striking directly and aggressively at critical energy facilities. You see, that's the real question. How are they going to deal with the Frankenstein they've created? How are they going to manage it?
We work for an audience all over the world so that people know the truth about Russian aggression, about Russia's war against Ukraine. That's why every comment and every subscription helps ensure that as many people as possible around the world see this video. Stay with us, stay on the side of light. Friends, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. We will definitely win.